Welcome to Breaking News. I'm Luisa Fernanda Arias, and today we have three amazing news that you have to know before you go out of your house. The first one is about NASA, that creates a futurist airplane that will be able to supersonic speeds, but without the sonic boom. NASA has teamed up with Lockheed Martin to build the X-plane, a quite supersonic transport aircraft that will be able to exceed the speed of sound but with the supersonic boom. Once complete, passengers will be able to fly from New York to Paris from 3 or 5 hours. A sonic boom happens because the air doesn't know the airplane is coming, said Peter Cohen, manager for the Commercial Supersonic Technology Project in NASA Aeronautics Missions Director. The agency expects the first delivery by the end of 2021, so we have to wait it to improve this new invented. Welcome back to Breaking News. Today we have a sad history about our defenders. We must honor last defenders by fighting the system which killed them. Though more defenders in Latin America have lost their lives challenging their country's economy's growth model with prices profit at all costs. As The Guardian and Global Witness revealed that almost four environmental defenders were murdered every week in 2017. War, war on one learner of two more killings through our Latin America partner organizations. On January 24, Marcino Matos, involved in the fight of rights of landed species in Bahia in northeast Brazil, was shot in front of his sons. 3 days later, Temístocles Don Temis Machado, a prominent figure in the struggle of Afro-Colombian communities across the Colombian Pacific, was murdered in his home in the Isla de Paz community. These killings are designed to silence and break the front lines of the struggles against corporate power, catastrophic climate change, and the unlimited destruction of the world's natural resources. The violent tactics aim to bypass local communities whose lives and livelihoods stand in the way of corporations looking to profit from exporting primary materials for global markets whatever the human and environmental cost. In Colombia, despite the historic peace agreement between the state and the left-wing FARC guerrillas, the social and armed conflict is intensifying. Machado lived in Buenaventura on Colombian Pacific coast, a predominantly Afro-Colombian region with diverse ecosystems and rural and urban territories intersect. Buenaventura is also home to the country's largest port, through which about 75% of imports and exports pass, generating huge corporate profits and much of the country's tax revenue. However, the hill that passes through the cities makes for an uncomfortable contrast with the city's appealing social realities. It has become known as a place where free trade presides over mass murder. Last year, Machado played an vital role in organizations a 3-week civic strike that brought Buenaventura to a grinding halt. The strike was a historic moment for the people of a region long mired in the legacy of slavery, poverty, and racism. It mobilized more than 150 people in opposition to the government preserve's neglect of its Afro-descendant population, to the rallying cry to live with dignity. In Brazil, A never-ending corruption scandal has unlocked the worst political crisis the country has seen its transition to democracy. As it enters an election year, the country's growing political instability is reflected in the rising popularity of the chauvinist presidential candidate Jair Bolsonaro, a supporter of the dictatorships that ruled Brazil from 1964 to 1985. Many of the world's largest extractive companies are registered in the UK and conduct their business through London, based on free trade agreements with numerous countries in the global south, including Colombia and Brazil. These industries are also heavily financed by UK banks, pension funds, and insurance companies. Many of the key actors benefit from close and long-standing connections with the UK government, which often gives UK-based companies diplomatic support overseas, acting as an extra lobbying arm. The murder of these two men was an attempt to assassinate communities who fight for their rights. It is a part of a perverse strategy that tries to put out the fire at the heart of the social struggles they lead. They honor their memory. We must extend our active solidarity to their communities, amplifying their calls for the justice they die for.